Thank you. I won't take too much of your time. Our guest speaker, when asked what to talk about, I told him, please talk about philanthropy, because the U.S. Embassy does a lot of good things in Bahrain that basically gets overshadowed. And today we have two people over here. One is Sarah Rifi and the other one is Lina Ayub. A very, very quick fact. His Excellency was a Rotarian in 2006, but you know what we say, once a Rotarian is always a Rotarian. Please welcome Justin Siberia.
I want to thank you for the kind introduction. It's a great pleasure to be here with all of you, the members and friends of Manama Rotary Club. Now, for my remarks today, as Osama said, I would like to focus on the bilateral relationship, the partnership enjoyed by the United States and Bahrain, but in a slightly different way than I typically do. In fact, as he noted, Osama asked me to talk about something slightly different. And something beyond perhaps the security, a typical security and business or commercial issues that round out our long-standing relationship, areas like education, culture, and professional development. I'm very, very happy to do that today. But also for the fact that my wife is in attendance, and when we talked about today's meeting, she said something like, "You're not going to say the same old thing about trade and blah, 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 are you?" So I said, no, I would not do that. And in all honesty, it is refreshing to talk about some of the other aspects of our relationship and the work we do in the U.S. Embassy to strengthen those strong bonds that bind us together. I thought I would do so by detailing a number of the cultural exchanges, arts exchanges, and education programs we administer at the Embassy to perhaps give you a flavor of how diplomacy is used to broaden the bonds that unite, the essential bonds that unite our two countries. So one way that we strengthen our linkages is through bringing Bahraini and American professionals together to learn from one another and exchange expertise. Now, the flagship exchange program administered by the United States in this regard is the International Visitor Leadership Program, which brings more than 4,500 visitors to the United States for such exchanges every year. And the goal of the IVLP, as we call it, is to provide first-hand knowledge about American society, culture, and politics while strengthening professional relationships. By introducing current and emerging global leaders to their professional counterparts in communities across the United States, this program creates opportunities for business, professional, and academic collaboration and offers direct exposure to American systems and values. Since the program's inception in the 1940s, thousands of participants have risen to important positions in their own countries, and among the alumni of the program in Bahrain are leading government officials, educators, economists, journalists, artists, and managers of non-governmental organizations. Bahrainis are rightly proud of the advancement of women as an example in Bahraini society, having recently seen the election of the Arab world's first ever elected Speaker of Parliament, and for the first time in Bahrain, a female president of the Journalists Association. Now, both of these very impressive women, Fawzia Zainal and Adheya Ahmed, are past participants in the IVLP. So there's an example how that program identifies people earlier on in their career and gives them an opportunity to come to know our society a little better. They are among the more than 580 Bahrainis who have participated in this exchange program since the early 1970s. An example how this program can be leveraged to make a measurable difference can perhaps be found in the work of the Labor Market Regulatory Authority, the LMRA, and the work it has done in countering human trafficking. Most of you, I hope, are aware of the excellent work that's been done in this area by the LMRA and Osama Al-Absi, which has led to strengthen Bahrain's efforts to counter human trafficking. In addition to being the head of the LMRA, Osama is also chairman of Bahrain's National Committee to Combat Trafficking in Persons. And Bahrain's leadership, including His Majesty the King and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, set a goal some time ago for Bahrain to strengthen the country's compliance with international standards regarding the fight against human trafficking and to make Bahrain a model for this region on this important issue. Looking for ways to inform and train his team, Osmo Pocket made use of the IVLP, the exchange program I just described to you. He identified key up-and-coming staff in the LMRA, and he put them together and developed programs for exchanges in the United States to see how we are dealing with these same issues in our country. Delegations from the LMRA and the Office of the Public Prosecutor traveled in 2014 and 2015 to the United States, visiting Washington, D.C., Denver, Colorado, Kalamazoo, Michigan, Los Angeles, California, among other places, to learn about programs that were in place and see whether some of those ideas might be adapted here. And that was followed by additional staff engaging American counterparts through these exchange programs, so that the LMRA was able to build a cadre of strong, well-developed team with exposure to new perspectives and solutions. In 2018, Bahrain's effort was recognized through elevation to Tier 1 in the State Department's Trafficking in Persons report, and Osmo Pocket was recognized as one of 8 what they call tip heroes from around the world. A truly extraordinary achievement, and I think a couple of the pictures on the slideshow include my meeting with His Majesty, where I showed him the report and to thank him for the leadership that he has demonstrated in addressing the scourge of human trafficking, which is really something that all of us needs to be concerned with. Now, another flagship exchange program administered around the world and here in Bahrain is the Fulbright Scholars Program. This is named after a famous United States Senator, William Fulbright of Arkansas, who was a champion of international exchange and cooperation. Nearly 300,000 people around the world have participated in this program since its inception in the 1940s, which consists of degree and non-degree programs and master's level study or teaching or researching in the United States. 180 Bahrainis have been part of this program and spent formative periods of their academic lives alongside colleagues and students at some of the finest universities in the United States. And the program comes in the other direction too. So you have American researchers and faculty members at any given time on the faculty and staff of Bahraini universities. And speaking of universities, there are a number of ongoing and very fruitful partnerships between American and Bahraini universities that play an important role in deepening and expanding our collaboration. The Royal University for Women has partnered with West Virginia University in an excellent collaboration that was recognized with a prestigious award by the Institute for International Education in 2018. Faculty from both universities have engaged in research collaborations in the field of energy, water resources, healthcare, and women and gender studies. And faculty from West Virginia have served as Fulbright Scholars at the Royal University of Women campus. And West Virginia University now offers its accredited civil engineering program on the RUW campus and is working with major engineering companies to provide internship opportunities for students from Bahrain and West Virginia. Similarly, the University of Virginia's Darden School of Business and DePaul University have developed strong partnerships with the Bahrain Institute for Banking and Finance, BIBF, that are offering master's level leadership and business degrees to students in Bahrain. And there are other such examples and some very exciting new developments coming in the education field between the United States and Bahrain, and we look forward to hearing, and I look forward to talking about those as they develop. Now, when we talk about educational collaboration, what people most think about are the thousands of Bahraini students who have traveled and studied in American colleges and universities over the years. Beginning in the 1970s and continuing until today, a strong association has been formed in this area. Over the past 10 years, an average of just over 400 Bahrainis have traveled to study in the United States each year. Now this number becomes cumulative and you start to find thousands and thousands of graduates all across Bahrain working in a wide variety of fields. But that's 400 on an annual basis. Let's put this in perspective. There are 1 million international students in US colleges and universities, or there were 1 million in the 2017-2018 academic year, 1 million international students. China alone accounted for 363,000 international students in the US system. India, 196,000. Saudi Arabia, which actually is the 4th highest total of international students in the United States, 44,000 students in the last academic year. And imagine what kind of impact that has on developing a better understanding between our societies and the affinity and familiarity that are developed that will play an important role and positive role for many decades to come. The U.S. Embassy also sponsors Bahraini students at the high school level. One of our most successful exchange programs is the Youth Exchange and Study Program, known as the YES program, which provides scholarships for high school students between the ages of 15 and 17. They get to spend one academic year in the United States, and they live with an American family. So they have the ultimate, U.S. high school sort of teenage movie experience, I guess. The cars and the whole thing. 129 young Bahrainis have participated in this program over the years, offering exposure to a world of opportunities for the future. And we now have a group of 12 Bahrainis that will do so in the coming academic year. Very excited for this program. They're always wonderful kids to meet, actually. They're really, really wonderful. They're taking a chance at an early age to go off and experiencing something completely different in a completely different atmosphere, and it always has a terrific effect. Now, without fatiguing you too much with discussion of programs and statistics, I just have a couple more examples to describe. And one of our one of our best programs that we administer here at the embassy is something called the Access Micro Scholarship Program. This program provides scholarships for the study of English, the English language, to 13 to 15-year-olds from low-income families in Bahrain. I'm very pleased to have with us today as one of the attendees, Ahmed Jawahari, who is our partner in this program with the American Cultural Education Center. Ahmed's center is one of the places where the students actually learn the language. And the program has been underway in Bahrain since 2002, and in that time more than 1,000 young Bahrainis have participated. These kids go from zero English to fluency in 2 years, and Ahmed can attest to that. And I have to say, the graduation ceremonies for these cadres of 2-year students are some of the most moving events that I've attended and had an opportunity to participate in Bahrain. We're able to open new horizons for young people through intensive study of English. It's a skill that opens up possibilities, including university study and improved job prospects. The students at these graduations deliver a speech in the English language. They are very proud. The parents are very, very proud of what they've accomplished. And it gives the students, boys and girls, by the way, real opportunities to explore new horizons. Now, exchange programs are also in place to strengthen our partnership with in other sectors, not least the Bahrain security forces. We have a very important program called the International Military Education and Training Program that has brought more than 2,300 Bahraini military officers and enlisted members to attend military education and training courses across each of the military branches in the United States. In fact, His Majesty, King Hamad, himself participated in this kind of program when he attended the prestigious Army Command and Staff College at Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, as a young officer. And I can tell you he speaks a lot about that experience and how formative it was for him as a young leader to be part of a program like that and to be surrounded by experienced officers from a variety of countries and to learn something about, to have an opportunity to gain from their expertise in a very, very nice environment in Kansas. Although he also talks about having to avoid tornadoes and shelters and the whole Wizard of Oz experience. More recently, His Highness and also Major General Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad attended the United States Marine Corps Command and Staff College in 2010-2011, and that is an extremely rigorous program that he successfully graduated from. We have many other types of programs that I'm not identifying, but we have, for instance, a very, very, very active program on commercial law development that we work with the Bahraini Parliament. These are seminars and training courses that have, among other things, helped to develop Bahrain's recently adopted insolvency law. There is an effort underway currently to help develop the government procurement law, which will enable small and medium enterprises, small-sized and medium-sized enterprises to benefit from government contracting and procurement. We have another program under the Council for International Private Enterprise, which is the development of something called the National Business Agenda, which was just released last week. And this is an agenda for addressing certain impediments to business in Bahrain. So a whole variety of programs, and I didn't get to some of the arts exchanges and other things that our colleagues have been part of here. The arts is a very, very important vehicle through which our two societies can come together. And we have a variety of programs to bring American artists to Bahrain, and then also so that Bahraini musicians, artists, and others can travel to the United States or become exposed to the arts in our country. So these are just kind of examples of some of the programs we administer at the United States Embassy. They're not always featured widely in the media or in the front of our minds when we think of the partnership enjoyed by the United States and Bahrain. But they play an important role in laying the foundation for the relationship to grow and to develop over a lifetime and form a critical part of the work we do to strengthen our essential bonds with Bahrain. So thank you for this opportunity to discuss these issues, and I want to commend you again for the many wonderful service projects that Rotary supports throughout the kingdom. And I look forward to working together with you. If you see areas where we can work together with you on these initiatives, we're always happy to do so. Thanks for sharing this time with us. I am ready to take questions if that's of interest to you. Thank you.
I would like to ask about something which is blah blah. Every day when you go to your office, there must be some priorities on your desk. What are the 3 top priorities on your desk which you are handling?
Thank you very much. Indeed, we do have priorities in our relationship. And my responsibility here as the American ambassador is to advance our relationship, but along the lines principally of what we kind of in shorthand call shared security, shared prosperity, and shared values. So shared security, of course, is relatively obvious. It's the Navy presence here. It's the strong relationship we've enjoyed with Bahrain to leverage each other's strengths, I would argue, toward providing security for a much broader part of the world. If you think about how commerce flows in the region through the Straits of Hormuz or Bab el-Mandeb, you think of the ability to traverse this region relatively unencumbered. How does that happen? One of the ways it happens is because we have a very strong maritime partnership with countries throughout the region, but it's headquartered here in Bahrain. People don't always recognize that our headquarters element is here, but it supports a vast region from Suez all the way to the tip of India. And that's made possible really because of the strength of our partnership. America has the Navy, and along with our partners, including the Bahraini Navy, is able to cover this area of the world. But Bahrain has provided us the headquarters. And when the headquarters came here, leadership will tell us that it wasn't always popular. There were others in the region who raised questions, who would sometimes put pressure on Bahrain in this area, but the leadership has always stood strong and understood that it's a contribution Bahrain and the United States can make together to this region. And I would argue that the prosperity that we've seen, not only in the region as a whole, but globally, to the extent that prosperity and growth around the world has been related to energy resources that have come from this part of the world, means that our partnership has benefited a lot more people than just the people of the United States and Bahrain. But what are the emerging fields? Whereas in high-tech, fintech, are American companies here in with the presence that they ought to have? Is there a level playing field? Generally speaking, there is, because we have a free trade agreement and we have a very good long-standing relationship. But we're always looking for opportunities for American business and ensuring that we are building the prosperity of both societies. And on shared values, this really is the people-to-people connections we have, ensuring that we're taking care of the next generation so that they come to know America in the way we'd like them to. And also for Americans to understand Bahrain for what really happens here. And so we do work, I work with my counterpart, the Bahraini ambassador in Washington, who's an excellent ambassador, to try to support each other in this area. And so some of the exchange programs, by the way, I described here are coming in reverse. So we have staffers from our Congress, we have media people, we have young people, students coming to Bahrain and generally organized by the Bahraini embassy in Washington. So yes, I try to pay attention to those kinds of issues every day.
Really, we want to thank you, your embassy, because the embassy has all these years been sponsoring thousands of students. And many of them, they have now important positions, and they went to many of them went to the university because of their language, because once they go to any university, they ask for how English language, how well they speak. And really it has been helping a lot. And we hope that you will continue and it will increase the number of access per year. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.